Hello and welcome to a new video here on my channel. Today I'm presenting to you part 10 of the story The Curse of Bloodlust. I hope you really like it, and if you like it, leave a like and a comment down below. I hope the images in the background also are to your taste, or not, they are only for the background. So then I don't want to beat around the bush anymore and start right with the story. Let's start.
A shout of triumph rings across the seemingly endless sky as wind screams and a shadow hurtles over Rune's head. It takes even Rune a moment to make out who sits on that black dragon. It's a draconic rider. She wears a black and gold outfit, mostly black with gold trim. The edges of her cloak whip in the wind and glitter like a comet's tail behind her. Rune is surprised to see a dragon-like rider on a lesser breed of the dragon family. It's not impossible or forbidden, but the fact that this draconic being apparently has no wings feels odd. Who on earth is that woman? I think she had a crest on her shoulder. I really need to understand how the mythological world is organized, countries and territories and all that. It's so confusing. Why are their powers dividing the world among themselves if they don't have human governments? I don't want to stumble into an elven realm just because I entered the wrong forest. But I don't feel like dealing with that right now, Rune thinks, feeling her aversion to getting involved. Watch out! Someone cries, and Rune senses a rush of danger sweep past her, but she can't react in time. An unstoppable force slams into her as the dragon the stranger was riding collides with her. The world spins, and everything goes black for a second. Even though Rune could swear nothing terribly happened, she finds a large crater where the dragon seems to have crashed into her. Are you okay? A woman's voice asks, trembling with fear and uncertainty. Why? Yes, that was, it'll be fine, Rune replies, realizing how twisted her body is. With a cracking, wet sound, her limbs snap back into place and her bones realign on their own. Blood flows back into the wounds and the earth dries out, as if time were being rewound rather than a healing being watched. Can't you fly, or what was that crash landing? Rune says as she straightens her neck back into place. She doesn't seem bothered that she'd just had multiple broken bones and was bleeding heavily. Rune knows she can't keep this a secret forever, but now someone else has seen it, and that makes hiding it even harder. Man, should you be healing that fast? The stranger asks. Oh, and sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. My mount just got out of control. I have no idea why. The stranger says. So it was an accident. Consider yourself lucky I was here, otherwise that would have killed me. And regarding my regeneration, I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell anyone about my abilities. It's a bit stronger than the regeneration of normal vampires. I don't want you blabbing about it. What's your name, anyway? Rune asks the strange woman with violet eyes, sunglasses still perched on her nose as if carved there, backward curving medium horns, black scales, black claws, and short, smooth black hair, but no dragon wings. My name is Lin Lin. Most call me just Lin or Lee. I'm the third daughter of the dragon realm, Lin Lin says, with an expression that doesn't quite fit a princess. Her dragon tail peeks out from beneath her cloak and hangs down, and her pointed ears, reminiscent of an elf's, droop slightly, a sign of sorrow and frustration. Rune suspects Lin Lin is not entirely happy with her name, status, or world. As Rune speaks briefly with Lin Lin and wonders what to do next, they agree not to mention the accident. Neither of them will get in trouble, and neither will lose permission to ride dragons, a surprisingly bureaucratic detail to Rune. Apparently you need a permit to ride dragons, and you can do so in breaks. Sky lizards, an obviously weaker variant of dragons, are apparently as valuable as winged, fire-breathing horses, only they are lizards instead of horses. Essentially, sky lizards aren't much different. They also fly far faster than physics should allow given their size. These traits, however, seem unremarkable from Rune's perspective. The animal's laid-back mentality amuses her. You don't look so good. Let me heal you. I know some helpful spells. Solarum. Lin Lin begins. Ouch, you idiot, are you trying to burn me? Rune snaps reflexively, turning away from the healing hand so the intense, positive energy doesn't continue to scorch her. It's confusing. Pure physical light without magic no longer affects her much beyond slightly taxing her regeneration. But magically enhanced light, even healing magic, can temporarily weaken her healing factor and hurt. It's not lethal, as far as Rune knows, but it's horribly uncomfortable and could be used to torture vampires. Sorry. Normally this should work on everyone, why doesn't it work on you? Lin Lin asks. It does have an effect, but not the one you expect. This is harmful to vampires. You could torture her with that if you go all out. Channel your healing magic to me instead when I donate my blood. Then it'll be far more effective and her wounds will heal much faster, says a male voice Rune knows all too well. It belongs to Nathan Godfield, the boy whose power she intends to copy at any cost, and for a second the situation feels unreal. Wow, that couldn't have ended better. Lady Karma really is on my side. I mean, what an improbable stroke of luck that the person nearby is exactly the one whose magic I absolutely must copy. Time to do a little acting. Well, I hope I'm convincing enough, Rune thinks, as she begins to pretend she's only just realized she isn't as healed as she first believed. The performance has to be believable, but not so convincing that she's taken off to the infirmary wing of the school. When Rune rises from the crater her body made when it was hurled around and slammed into the ground, she staggers as the mount gets to its feet and tries to take a few steps. Her legs wobble and give out as if she truly has no strength left in them. The worried faces of both the draconic rider Lin Lin and Nathan tell Rune that her plan is working perfectly, even though a small part of her, for the very first time in her life, feels genuinely bad, as if exploiting these kind people who've done nothing but be friendly to her is disgusting and wrong. Well, I can't exactly say both of them are just humans, but both are living, intelligent beings. I'm deceiving them, and that's definitely not very nice, Rune thinks with a twinge of guilt. Only a hint, though, then says aloud in a tired voice, I seem to have left my pouch with my blood rations somewhere in my room and I don't quite know where. I'll go look for it now. I'm sure I can make it back to my room. She forces an exhausted smile. As Rune plays the part, a few thoughts run through her head, several reasons why she's doing this. She knows it's immoral, but it's crucial. If the draconic rider Lin Lin were to reveal how quickly Rune regenerates, people would assume Rune is truly exhausted afterward and that her energy is depleted. That would make attackers strike over and over, thinking they could wear her down, when really it just consumes blood, and she has plenty of that. So it's not only the motivation to copy Nathan Godfield's innate magic, creation and manipulation of gods and demons, it's also an opportunity to spread false information. Two advantages she can't ignore. I'm really not a good person. I'm manipulating someone I should help so I can get what I desperately want, his ability. But at least I'll give him something in return. His innate magic will be a real problem for me, but if I do this smartly, no one will learn that I copied innate magic. Equational manipulation of gods and demons. Before I trigger his ability or make him use the trigger, I need to test whether spiritual creatures like gods and demons can be contained or controlled at all, Rune thinks as she limps toward the school building to finish the performance. Just as she predicted, Nathan offers her his blood and tells her to drink as much as she needs to regenerate. He can be healed with magic, but she cannot. I appreciate the offer, but I really don't want to put you at risk. I don't know exactly where I left the pouch in my room, but I'll manage. I'm not in danger, just a bit roughed up, Rune says, conveying exactly the impression she wants. She doesn't want to trouble anyone and will be careful. No, you don't need to worry. I'm pretty skilled with healing magic and I can easily repair that blood loss. I only need a little biomaterial from the environment. Some grass should be enough, Lin Lin says, her voice full of helpfulness and nervousness. Why would you need biomaterial for a healing spell? I'm really curious, Rune asks, stopping to listen to Lin Lin's explanation. Rune's eyes widen in genuine surprise, not acted, when she learns that healing magic doesn't break the laws of physics the way anime makes it look, where arms simply regrow and mass conservation is ignored. Matter can't be created from nothing. Sure, magic can theoretically form matter from energy, but that's incredibly difficult and near impossible in practice. Most magic either temporarily conjures small amounts of matter, a far less radical violation, or restructures existing matter, converting one kind of biomass into another for healing purposes. It also makes sense that, normally, healing restructures the body's own biomass. When biomass is lacking, healing is less efficient. You can't simply regrow an arm without reducing the body's overall mass elsewhere. So you're saying you can replenish our blood consumption in this environment? Then I have no problem. But how does that work? Rune asks as Lin Lin kneels and presses a hand to the ground, the other hand extended toward Nathan. The outstretched hand begins to pulse, a warm, rhythmic, pleasant light, pleasant to everyone except vampires, washes over Nathan. At that point Rune decides there's no need to prolong her act and moves to Nathan to bite into his arm gently. Rune feels her hunger and thirst for blood intensify. Yet this isn't new, it isn't merely the vampire in her, it's a desire she truly wants. The bloodlust and the high she feels come from her core, it's not something forced or unnatural. As the warm, ruby liquid flows down her throat, digestion and the copying process begin the moment it reaches her stomach. Creation and manipulation of gods and demons, one of the most powerful abilities Rune can imagine. From what she knows, this power allows the creation, manipulation, and command of spiritual beings, gods, certain demons, and spirits. Because many spiritual entities aren't alive, in the conventional sense, they can't necessarily be killed, which makes the ability even more potent and tempting. Watching Lin Lin heal Nathan, Rune admits it seems unfair how much magic draconic beings can wield. If Lin Lin didn't possess that much power, healing across that distance wouldn't be possible. The energy loss must be significant when power is transmitted through the air, and whether Lin Lin knows it or not doesn't matter, it's an energy waste. Rune notices the grass withering and disintegrating into ash. Seeing it vanish on the wind, she finds it oddly beautiful. Rune stops drinking when she's had enough. Nathan doesn't seem to notice how much she consumed. Lin Lin, meanwhile, appears to have little sense of the world beyond her own land. From Rune's perspective, Lin Lin is kind but not very thoughtful, there's more air than substance in her head. I have a class next that I'd like to get to, so I'll take my leave now. Thank you for your help, Rune says, realizing she should really go. The acting and plotting have achieved their purpose and she now has what she needed.
As Rune walks along the path toward the giant castle that stretches out before her, she has to admit she doesn't really understand how she has always managed to arrive on time when the school is this enormous. Parts of the castle are probably unused or accessible only to certain students. Rune's feet carry her to the outer wall, which is surprisingly vast and finally makes the true scale of the fortress clear. It's larger than any human building she's ever seen, but given the number of students, that's to be expected. Strangely, the interior doesn't seem bigger than it should be, at least not yet. Rune studies the smooth, polished corridor walls and the torches as she passes. Who cleans this castle when it gets dirty? She wonders, then realizes who, or what, does the cleaning. The best way to describe it would be a colorful cloud of fur and eyes, thousands of dust eaters moving in a swarm. It's odd, because they're, frankly, not smart. They're not smart at all. Yet something directs these simple spirits. It's a spell. And while dust eaters are the dumbest and most harmless creatures, utterly adorable, they supposedly want to erase all life in the universe. They are incapable of learning, cooperating, or doing real harm. They can't even manage to kill themselves, despite apparently wanting to. It's that knowledge of their negativity that keeps Rune from flinching when she senses it, a cloud of pure hate, pure darkness, emanating from these beings. For a moment Rune wonders why she can even feel it. Two options present themselves. Either it's a passive aspect of the innate magic equation and manipulation of gods and demons she's currently copying, or it's a passive effect of some other innate magic she's already copied. If it's the latter, then she's only noticing it now, but if the equation and manipulation ability gives her a sense of emotions hanging in the air, that's strange, because as far as she knows creation and manipulation of gods and demons should be inactive and would have to be activated when she copies it. This doesn't quite fit. Okay, this is weird. Either my ability has aspects I haven't understood yet, or somehow I copied Nathan Scottfield's active version instead of his inactive one. That would be messed up. I should copy an exact duplicate, not a suddenly active variant if his is inactive. I haven't even made a split yet, why is my power ignoring that? Well, I'm glad I apparently have the active version, since my innate magic is still copying, but it already seems moderately active, from what I can tell. Still, this is odd. I wonder if this will happen with others too, or if it's a one-off for me. I'll find out sooner or later. Right now my copy should be at about 10%. Damn, this will take me all day to copy. I want it now. Rune examines her own innate magic more closely. Ouroboros, God of Echoes. It's a peculiar ability that lets her copy other individuals' powers, passive and constantly on, and apparently triggered whenever blood enters her stomach or bloodstream. Blood doesn't have to contain magic, it's just a catalyst, which means she should theoretically be able to copy other people's innate magics without blood. Of course, Rune understands how broken that would be if she simply copied any ability she touched all the time. That would be a nightmare. She'd constantly have to check which powers interfered with one another and separate them. It could be dangerous. While the copy itself might not kill her, innate magics can interfere with each other. Using 3 different innate powers at once could very well injure her, which is problematic. So I should be grateful my innate magics aren't just permanently active. Sure, they're effectively on in the sense that once I drink blood I have to be careful which innate magics I copy. More than 90% of them are useless garbage I'll never use. But at least I can't turn off the copying. Still, it only happens after I drink. Man, I have so many innate magics, over 1,000 already, and that's only after a few months. It'll be in the millions someday. I can't have the same ability twice, though. Every living creature with blood has magic and innate magics, mostly inactive, but I've copied a ridiculous number. Maybe a combination of several innate magics I've already copied explains why my current ability didn't need to be triggered. I can't test that now. I'd have to go through thousands to see which are active. At least none of the active ones are ones I can consciously use or that would harm me. A quick look behind her shows Rune that the cloud of angry dust eaters has rounded the corner and is buffing the place spotless. It's paradoxical and amusing that a single person controls these creatures to clean the castle, but effective and funny. A dust eater's trill catches Rune's attention. One has wedged itself between a painting and a torch holder, and Rune finds this a little odd because they're usually clumsy. That single eye on the furball looks full of hatred, yet the way the yellow fluff stretches makes it look more like gum than flesh. Okay, why is this not more surprising? These beasts are everywhere, Rune thinks as she frees the dust eater and watches it attempt to nibble her finger, a task it can't complete because it has no mouth. Its attempts feel more like tickling than harm. Deciding to study the creature later, she tucks it into her pocket. It wriggles a little but stays put. Somehow it seems to still breathe in there, which makes Rune wonder how these things breathe at all, or whether they need to. She shrugs and reaches a spiral staircase, at least the sort of spiral one would expect. It looks more like a stack of amethyst slabs floating freely in space, not connected to anything, and there's no railing to steady yourself if you slip. But many students here can fly, so it's not terrifying, and there's probably a ward that prevents fatal falls. Rune is still impressed by how the stairs work. Each step floats unsupported and gives slightly underfoot. The treads are deep violet amethyst plates with gold-trimmed edges. For a moment Rune thinks the violet inside the stone is moving, like a purple storm. This is unsurprising in such a magical castle. A faint tingle runs up through her shoes as she steps on the enchanted stair and it sinks an inch. As she climbs, she notices she might be a little late. She doesn't see any classmates on the stairs. Either she's lost or she's running late. Getting lost seems unlikely but possible. Halfway up, she senses something shifting inside her. It's subtle but now noticeable, like her blood beginning to simmer in a pleasant way. Okay, something's weird. Is this related to my vampire wings growing soon? But from what I read that should be concentrated at my shoulders, and my wings are definitely too small yet to cause this. The symptoms are tingling at the shoulder blades, which I do feel, so I should soon start sensing my wings. But my blood shouldn't be boiling right now. It's not yet bad enough that she wants her shoulder blades removed, but it's annoying and could become a problem in the next lesson. Can I even attend class like this? I don't feel perfect, but I'm holding up. This feeling like my blood is boiling is definitely more than I understand right now, Rune thinks as she reaches the top of the tower. The dorm door is black with gold and red ornamentation, a dragon embossed on each panel. It's beautiful and surely more expensive than she could have imagined back when she was still human. Wait, when I was human I was attracted to both women and men, but more to men. I liked sex as much as I liked fighting, so why as a vampire do I feel nothing like that? Can vampires not feel sexual desire? Rune wonders as she reaches for the door and it opens on its own. You're late, Miss Silverstar, a stern voice says. That's because I had a problem, and besides, I'm not feeling well, Rune answers without batting an eyelid. Rune lets her gaze sweep across the room. A row of huge windows faces out over the truly gigantic grounds. The classroom matches the rest of the castle style, though it looks like a hybrid of lab, factory, and lecture hall. The tables are made of some black metallic material and arranged in concentric semicircles around the instructor. The room itself seems round, and if Rune guesses correctly, it occupies nearly half of the top floor of this tower. The door she entered through sits beside the teacher's desk, and the wall to her right curves gently leftward, where the large windows sit. So you're ill, are you? That's quite unnatural for a vampire, the professor says. Professor Alexandra, according to her nameplate. She has green eyes and silver hair. When Rune turns to Professor Alexandra, the name feels ordinary for an elf, even though not every magical being needs an extraordinary name. Rune sees no reason to lie, so she simply tells the truth. My wings itch and my blood feels like it's boiling. I've been a vampire for a while now, but I'm not yet fully familiar with vampire culture, so I don't know what this means. Perhaps you can help me, Professor, Rune says, not paying attention to her classmates' glances and focusing only on her instructor. What Rune is experiencing, in addition to her wings beginning to grow, appears to be an ascension to a higher or purer state of blood. Vampire types are classified by strength, and vampires become more powerful as their blood strengthens. That's what's happening to her. As far as Alexandra knows, this has no real side effects for the vampire, but because vampire culture is fairly conservative compared to other magical species, anyone who feels strange or has the urge to drain someone's blood should excuse themselves and leave the room, the professor adds with the same stony expression as before, giving Rune the impression Alexandra doesn't quite know how to show emotion. As Rune sits, she notices the respectful distance her classmates keep, no fear, but definite deference, which Rune finds very positive. It makes concentrating easier. Professor Alexandra demonstrates how limiting the combination of magic and technology can be, since certain things simply don't work. Alexandra explains that certain rules of magic can't be bypassed with tech, paratechnology, or hybrid devices. Rune finds the topic fascinating. A very good example of what paratechnology can do is the creation of artificial life, something pure magic can't achieve. But magic still has limits. Homunculi, for instance, are like ice or programs combined with magic. They lack a soul, so they can't generate magic themselves. This limitation is unavoidable because we don't understand souls well enough. We can't even use magic to precisely locate a soul in a human body, or in any body, for that matter. What paratechnology suggests is that every living being has something like a soul. It's hard to put into words, but everything that lives has something resembling a soul. The souls of intelligent, self-aware beings differ fundamentally from plant souls, which is why plants are easier to manipulate with magic than thinking organisms. This is one reason souls must be tied to magic and the rules of our world. Magic can't directly act inside another person's body. That's one of the many theories we'll discuss in this course. As you may know, you can't materialize a spell inside another person's body any more than you can manifest it inside a magical object. These are distinct but related issues. A magical object can block you from creating a fireball inside it, and the reason is simple. First, the object may contain more magic than the spell, so you'd need to neutralize that magic. Second, a fireball can't form inside a solid object because there's no air, no oxygen, so at best you'd create flames around the object. Hence we conclude that magic cannot be created inside solid objects. If, however, you want to bend the metal rather than create a fireball, you'd need more magic than the object contains, or the object must be particularly weak against your magic. Only then could you bend it. In contrast, a human body is a different case. Magic has difficulty influencing another person's body. Healing magic is arguably the only type that can actively affect a living being, and that probably depends on the intention to heal, the soul's willingness to be healed. But this is not fully proven. Why does healing magic work if harmful spells can't be created inside a body? Can anyone tell me why I cannot create a spell inside a body but can create it outside and then influence the interior? Why, for example, can a skilled water mage manipulate someone's blood when you can't actually manifest a spell inside a person? Alexandra asks. At Alexandra's question, Mia, Rune's roommate, a slightly clumsy elf, immediately raises her hand. Nervous but articulate, she explains why water magic can affect a body even if you can't cast a spell inside it. When I cast on someone, I send magic out of my body and give it form in the air. That form can be runes or other effects. Once the magic takes shape and has an effect in the air on its way to someone, it's no longer in the person. That's also why I can't make runes on another individual. If I tried to reach into someone's body with raw magic without shaping it first, I would lose authority over my magic. The magic I put into them would become theirs. But if I shape and imprint the magic beforehand, it becomes a crafted effect. That effect can then act on the inside of a body. Many factors can change how that effect behaves, though, Mia explains when called on. Copy of creation and manipulation of gods and demons is at 15%, Rune senses, realizing how long it will take before that power is available. The lecture and the theories are fascinating, and it's clear there's much that remains unknown. I have a question. Why does magic sometimes seem alive and changing, and other times not? Rune asks when the professor turns to her. What do you mean? That's not right. Magic is static. Magic can't change on its own, Alexandra replies, confused. When Rune realizes she's said something that might confuse others because it doesn't fit their framework of magical knowledge, she understands she shouldn't project the information she gains from observing other innate magics onto ordinary life. It seems no one truly understands how innate magic behaves. The only kinds of magic people really grasp are the primary magics or the learned, imprinted magics, which, conversely, means innate magic and phenomenon magic remain mysteries to everyone else. Yet everyone accepts that innate and phenomenon magic operate on the same basic level, they just are, without an explanation. As Alexandra notices Rune has nothing more to say, she turns her attention away and back to the other students. Lin Lin, the dragon-like girl with pointed ears and black scales, is hardly inconspicuous, even if she tries to be. It feels contradictory that a draconic descendant, someone who literally carries dragon blood, radiates a magical aura so strong that few at the school can match her power. And yet her personality doesn't seem to fit. Rune finds it amusing that she's shy and helpful when she could easily be dominant. Maybe, Rune thinks, Lin Lin only knows a handful of healing spells. Or perhaps she's weak in her homeland but strong elsewhere. Rune wonders how power differences among species affect the rest of the world. The bigger question on her mind now is how she compares to a giant. Giants, dragons, phoenixes and angels are supposed to be legendary and extremely powerful. The lecture is interesting, but Rune's thoughts drift occasionally even as she follows along. The theories of paratechnology fascinate her. What can be done with it? Golems made into homunculi through ritual and paranormal tech, artificial lifeforms without souls. That apparently doesn't violate magic's rules outright, because you aren't truly creating life, merely creating something that looks like life. There are several magical laws nobody wants to break, and Rune understands why. Those who tried to break them didn't survive to tell the tale. Those who stopped before breaking a law reported their own magic rebelling from the inside until they ceased. The rules are straightforward. The first law, the law of time, states that time cannot be manipulated, the past is fixed and the future can only be viewed in if-then branches. Practically, that means possible futures branch wildly and quickly, making reliable prophecy extremely difficult. The second law, law of life, prevents creating life or bringing the dead back. The third law, law of conservation, is simple. The larger the change you want to make with magic, the more energy you must expend, and the longer you want that change to last, the more magic it requires. This isn't strictly tied to complexity. Conjuring matter from nothing costs enormous magic but might be mechanically simple, whereas altering the world so you can fly in every respect would need far more energy than a single spell that tweaks a few parameters without violating fundamental laws. And that's it for today. Next time we'll discuss ritual matrices and runes, how runes are formed, Alexandra says sternly. Rune notices it's already midday and the rest of the day is free. Now that she's begun copying creation and manipulation of gods and demons, she knows it will still take hours, perhaps a whole day, to finish. Thanks to the many innate magics she's already absorbed, her biology can speed up to digest and assimilate powers faster, but there's a downside. An increased metabolism doesn't make the copy instant and can accelerate aging, which would be painful. Man, I have the impression my stomach hurts constantly when I activate these innate magics to digest faster, Rune thinks. After she climbs down the floating spiral steps of the tower and reaches the ground, Rune feels mentally and physically drained. Her magic isn't exhausted, but the lecture was taxing. The itch between her shoulder blades and the sensation of her blood, boiling, make her tired. So Rune does what anyone would do when exhausted. She finds a comfortable spot under a tree near the school and lies down in the shade. A warm, gentle breeze brushes her hair and cheek, and the birdsong lulls her toward sleep. She barely notices her magic and aura changing, the magic seeping from her skin into a visible form. The first person to sense what's happening is Director Neolian of the International Magic Academy Intermagics. This is something he hasn't seen in a very long time, magic taking physical shape. Okay, this is strange. A person's magic is entering the physical world. I need to act before this triggers destruction. I don't want my beautiful campus ruined, Neolian thinks, standing up. Gate, he calls, and a portal opens before him. Stepping through, he sees a peaceful scene, except for an aura that has shifted from invisible to visible, a blood-red mist. Surprisingly, it doesn't obliterate everything nearby through magical pressure, although, in theory, a gaseous state like this should wreak havoc. But it doesn't. A soft smile spreads across his face as he recognizes that the daughter of his close friends carries such a strong aura. Still, why is the aura growing so intensely right now? Neolian doesn't allow himself to be distracted. He begins erecting protective spells around Rune. I just felt an immense aura, are we? Nazraga starts, then falls silent when he sees a dome forming where a tree had been, just in front of the director. It's nothing. The aura was from me. I had an issue, Neolian says, without explaining exactly what happened or why the barrier is there. Okay, then I'll go back to my class, Nazraga says, seeing where this is going. I'll tell the others this was a false alarm, Nazraga adds. Neolian only smiles faintly and nods as Nazraga leaves for his teachers, who had understandably feared an attack when so much magic concentrated in one place. All right, my dear, I hope you rest well, whatever you're doing there, Neolian says, conjuring a small note with a few written words. He's always pleased when his students grow more powerful or break their limits. But thinking of Rune, the daughter of friends who apparently has some problems, he admits something is off. She prefers to call herself Silverstar, not Blackstone. I think it's time I pay the Blackstones a visit, Neolian thinks, turning away from the barrier he's woven with the school's protection spells and declared a taboo zone. In simple terms, the area where Rune sleeps is now inaccessible to others but still allows her to leave. According to the spells he placed around her, the moment she exits the barrier a teleport will trigger, returning her to her dorm room. It isn't normal how fast Rune is evolving from a full vampire into a true vampire. She shouldn't even have been a vampire for half a year and she's already becoming a true vampire. I need to find out what's going on. That's not the normal pace for a vampire's development. Even if she had consumed the blood of a high-ranking vampire, her body should take far longer to adapt. Integrating another vampire's magic into the body should take time. For her to access Dracula's full power this quickly is strange. If she continues at this rate, in 6 months she'll be an enforced vampire and then a vampire lord. That would be terrifying for most. Having a vampire lord in the second school year would create real problems, Neolian thinks. He's somewhat annoyed by how secretive vampires remain within the magical world and how they disguise their rank names to confuse outsiders. It's not helpful that they give different names to vampire ranks outside their culture.
And that's it for today. I hope you really liked it. And if you liked it, leave a like and comment down below. On the left side of the screen you can now see the newest video I uploaded. On the right side of the screen you can see now the playlist. And I hope we see us in the next video wieder. Until next time, take care and goodbye.